Okay, so here's the plan. I'll go see Looper tonight, make the review, release it on Saturday, and then tomorrow I'll go back in time, go see Hotel Transylvania, and do a review for that, so that way I can see both films and review them both at the same time. Yeah, that works. Now all I gotta do is invent a time machine. What up, y'all? It's the Black Critic Guy, and today is a very special day. Not only did I get to see Looper, but today is also my mom's birthday. And I just want to tell her, happy birthday, thanks a lot for raising me and all that good stuff. But now let's get to the meat and potatoes of this, my Looper review. And I gotta say, this movie blew me away. It is amazing. So the basic premise of Looper is it follows this character by the name of Joe, played by Gordon-Levitt, who is a looper who kills people from the future. Because in his time travel has not been invented, but 30 years into the future it has, and it's immediately banned. Like, they can't use it at all. But these crime lords get a hand of it and start sending people back into the past, and these loopers are there standing there ready to take them out. And one day he gets assigned to kill this one guy who turns out to be his future self, and as you can tell, things go awry and he doesn't complete the job, and now he must go and find and kill his future self before his employers find and kill him. So I heard so much about Looper. Everyone was raving how it was a great, spectacular movie. I saw the trailer back like a few months ago, and when I first saw the trailer, my honest opinion was, it's interesting, but a lot of things could go wrong with this premise. I mean, it's about going back in time, you know, things could get awry. That was really my biggest worry of the movie, but then they handled it very well, and I was very happy about that. But all in all, this movie is fantastic. To the story, the writing, the direction, the acting, everything about this movie is spectacular. It's to a T awesomeness. First, let's talk about the story, which was the one thing that I was a little worried about when going into this movie. Like, it's about them going back in the past and using time travel. It could get a little sloppy or confusing, but I gotta say, like I said earlier, they handled it very well. They explained everything. There was no loose ends. You got a full understanding of how time travel works and how characters will not say things to ruin the future. Like, Bruce Willis's character, the future self of Joe, withholds information from his past self. That way it doesn't ruin the continuity of their life. And now let's talk about the acting and the characters. First off, Joseph Gordon-Levitt. He kills in this role. For almost an hour in the movie, I didn't even think for a second that was Joseph Gordon-Levitt on the screen. I really thought that was young Bruce Willis. He had the mannerisms down. He had the kind of swag that, you know, Bruce Willis has with his face, and, you know, when he's talking to the ladies like, hey, welcome to the party. He really just embodied the role. He really became young Bruce Willis. And speaking of Bruce Willis, I thought Bruce Willis did a knockout job in this movie as well, and he still holds the title, in my book, as the biggest badass of all time. And this movie just proves it to me. He still holds that. He is awesome. He kicked a lot of ass. And his character actually had a lot of depth in this movie. I was really shocked by that. I was like, I understood where he was coming from, because when he goes back into the past, he has a motive for going back to the past. There's a reason he goes back. And at first it was kind of like, oh, I don't really like what you're doing here, but I understood where he was coming from, his motivation behind his character. And now we got Emily Blunt, who I thought did a fantastic job in this movie. She handled the emotional scenes very well. She had great chemistry with Joseph Gordon-Levitt and the little kid. And speaking of the little kid, you talk about a scene stealer. This little kid, I don't know who he is, I don't know what his name, I never seen him in anything else, but this kid is probably one of the best young kid actors I've seen in like years, seriously. Moonrise Kingdom did have a lot of good kid actors, but I feel like those kids were like in their teens. This kid looked like he was 7 years old, and maybe he is maybe 10 or 11, but this kid did a knockout performance. He was a scene stealer in every scene he was in. He owned those scenes. I was like, this kid is believable, he's convincible. I liked him a lot. And now we go to the directing of the movie. Now, Rian Johnson both directed and wrote this movie, and he only did 2 other movies before making this one, Brick and The Brothers Bloom. I watched Brick and I really like Brick. I haven't seen The Brothers Bloom yet, but I heard it was really good. But he does a knockout job in the direction and the screenplay of this entire thing. Like, this is his baby. This was his project, and I thought he did a flawless job. He handled his craft very well is what I'm trying to say. Starting today, if he ever makes another movie again, I will immediately go and see it because he handled this movie so masterfully. The handling of the actors, the writing, the direction, just the entirety of the film, he did it to a T. And he's probably one of the directors I'm going to keep my eye out from here on. As I mentioned earlier with characters, I thought all the characters were well developed. They had great chemistry with each other, and you understood the motives of the characters, like the reason that they're doing the things they do. And lastly, the action scenes were fantastic. I enjoyed each and every one of them. And Bruce Willis, like I said, still the #1 badass of the world. Without doubt. So overall, I really love this movie. This is definitely one of my top 10 favorite movies of the year, and it'll get 5 out of 5 for me. It's an epic masterpiece, and I honestly think that you all should go and see this movie right now. Go see it. But anyway, what did you guys think of this movie? Did you like it a lot? Did you just find it dull and uninteresting and slow? And let me know, what is your favorite time travel movie? Comment below and let me know. Anyway, I'm the Black Critic Guy, bridging the gap between movies and anime reviews. Till then, peace, YouTube.